Welcome to Fabloria, where we listen, we relax, and we enjoy timeless fairy tale stories. A long time ago, in a quiet corner of the world where forests whispered secrets and narrow dirt roads led to forgotten villages, there stood a fragile little house with a cracked mud roof. Inside that humble home lived a young girl named Amelia Rowan with her mother, Mara. Her father had passed away not long before, leaving behind silence, sorrow, and a heavy burden of poverty. Without him, life felt frozen in time, as if the world had stopped moving forward for them. Every morning before sunrise, Mara would walk miles to nearby homes, working as a cleaner and washer. She scrubbed floors, washed clothes by hand, carried heavy buckets of water, and returned home exhausted. Often, the only food she brought back was stale bread or scraps that kind-hearted employers had given her. Mother and daughter would sit together in the dim light of a candle, sharing those crumbs like a feast, grateful simply to survive another day. Years passed, and their hardship only grew. But despite the hunger and cold nights, they held on to each other with love and quiet strength. Then fate struck again. One winter, Mara fell seriously ill. Without money for medicine or doctors, Amelia could do nothing but watch helplessly. Night after night, she prayed. But one evening, her mother took a final breath and never opened her eyes again. Amelia was completely alone. No relatives came, no neighbors offered help. The house echoed with memories, laughter that no longer existed, and a silence that felt louder than thunder. Days turned into weeks. The last bag of flour was emptied, the last grain of rice cooked, and the final pinch of salt used. Hunger gnawed at her until even standing became difficult. One afternoon, driven by desperation, she stepped outside for the first time in days and walked toward the marketplace. The air was thick with the smell of roasted bread, simmering stews, and sweet pastries. Her stomach twisted painfully. She approached a shopkeeper with trembling hands. "Sir, please," she whispered. "I haven't eaten in days. Can you spare anything?" The man scowled and shoved her away. "Get lost, beggar! Don't bring your filth here." She fell to the dusty ground as laughter erupted around her. Tears streamed down her face as she fled the market, her knees scraped and bleeding, her heart shattered. Wandering through an abandoned path outside the village, she noticed a strange, abandoned house with half-open doors and cracked walls. Old statues stood in the yard, their faces eroded by time. Inside, she found a rusted stove and scattered tools. Her hands trembled with hunger when suddenly a fat white duck waddled past her. She hesitated, glancing around, then made a desperate decision. She caught the duck, prepared it, and cooked it over the stove. When the meal was ready, she devoured it with shaking hands, barely aware of the world around her. The witch raised her staff. "Then you shall live as they lived." Before Amelia could scream, feathers erupted from her skin. Her arms shrank, her body twisted, and her voice vanished. In moments, she had transformed into a small brown duck. She tried to cry, but only a soft quack escaped her beak. The girl who once dreamed of a better life was gone. Seasons passed, As a duck, Amelia lived quietly in the witch's yard, among other ducks. She watched humans from afar, remembering what she once was. She could no longer speak, no longer explain her pain. She only floated on water, carrying her sorrow in silence. One spring, something miraculous happened. Amelia laid an egg, and when the egg hatched, it was not a duckling that emerged, but a human baby girl. The child had bright eyes, soft skin, and a tiny crown of feathers resting on her head. Whenever the witch appeared, the baby instantly transformed into a duck. When the witch left, she turned back into a human child. The ducks accepted her as their own and named her Luna Featherbrook, believing she was both duck and human, a bridge between worlds. Years rolled by, and Luna grew into a quiet, gentle young woman, beloved by the ducks who called her their princess. She sang to them, danced near the lake, and listened to their stories as if she understood every word. One day, the witch returned unexpectedly and caught Luna in her human form, laughing with the ducks. Rage twisted her face. "So you've been hiding this from me," she snarled, pulling out a dagger. Before she could strike, an old duck stepped forward. It was Amelia, the girl who had once been human, now a mother in spirit. "Please," the duck pleaded, her voice trembling in spirit though not in sound. "She is innocent." The witch laughed cruelly. "Then die first." With one swift motion, she stabbed the old duck. Luna screamed and ran, tears flooding her eyes. She fled into the forest, not daring to look back. Exhausted, wounded, and terrified, she reached a vast lake and collapsed at the shore. She drank the water and transformed into a duck, diving beneath the surface. She swam for hours until night fell. When she emerged, she saw a magnificent palace glowing under the moonlight. Exhausted, she sat on the shore, clutching her injured leg, whispering that she was hungry and in pain. The palace doors opened, and a young man stepped out. He was Prince Adrian Valamont, tall, kind-eyed, and dressed in royal robes. "Who are you?" he asked gently. "Why are you here so late?" Luna hesitated, but the scent of food drifted toward her. Her hunger betrayed her fear. The prince noticed and ordered servants to bring food. She ate without restraint, then suddenly remembered her secret and turned into a duck, diving into the lake. Adrian watched in wonder and called after her, promising she could return any time. She came again the next night, and the next. Slowly they talked, laughed, and shared stories. A quiet love bloomed between them. One evening, Luna told him everything: her mother, the curse, the witch, and her strange existence. "I have no one," she whispered. "You have me," Adrian replied, "and I will make you my queen." Despite her fears, he married her. The kingdom welcomed her with curiosity and warmth. She was gentle, kind, and beloved by all. But sadness still lingered in her heart. She told Adrian about her mother's death. Furious, he sent soldiers to capture the witch. The witch was brought to the palace in chains. In anger, Luna grabbed the wand and shattered it. A blinding light filled the hall, breaking the curse forever. The witch's power vanished, and Luna became fully human. Free at last, she and Prince Adrian ruled with kindness and peace, living happily ever after. Their story whispered across generations as the tale of the Duck Princess who rose from sorrow to royalty.